Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a topic that honestly often makes the difference between brands that really take off and those that just sort of struggle, even when their products are great. We're talking about why getting crystal clear on who you're actually serving isn't just, a good idea. It's actually fundamental. We've been looking at some really interesting material, especially this one piece called The Strategy of Target Audience, to exactly who you're after. And it makes this really strong case that a lot of businesses don't fail because the product's bad. They fail because they never really nailed down who it was for. They just cast this super wide net.
Yeah, too wide. And what's fascinating there is how the source really hammers home that without that strategic targeting, even the best offers just fizzle out. It's really about being more focused, often way more focused than the competition. So our mission today, I guess, is to unpack why that audience clarity isn't optional and how that actually looks in the real world for everyone from huge companies down to, say, a local clinic.
Okay, so let's unpack that core idea first. The source argues, pretty convincingly, I think, that too many providers, maybe especially in healthcare, start their outreach by just listing services, physical therapy. We do in-home care.
Right, the what.
Exactly, the what. But the real question, the one this source says gets missed, is for whom?
And that's a critical question for you listening, isn't it? If you run a clinic or an agency, are you still leading with the what? Or have you made that shift to leading with the who? It's a really fundamental pivot, moving away from just focusing on the product or service itself toward being truly audience-centric.
And this isn't just theory, right? We're seeing this play out with some, frankly, massive strategic moves out there. The source highlights Walmart buying Vizio. Now, it wasn't because Walmart suddenly decided, hey, let's get into the TV manufacturing business. It was explicitly called an audience play.
Exactly, an audience play. And what that means, as this piece points out, is it's not about the TVs. It's about getting direct access to those 18 million households, their data, controlling the ad space on that streaming platform. That audience itself is the asset.
Wow.
And if you connect that, you see the same pattern with CVS buying Aetna and Oak Street Health. It wasn't just, let's offer more services. No, they're deliberately building this integrated pipeline. It starts with the insurance, funnels people into their primary care, and aims to lock in that long-term customer value by owning, multiple stages of their healthcare journey. It really signals this shift towards healthcare ecosystems. And those ecosystems, they absolutely start with knowing exactly who you want inside them.
Okay, so we see the giants like Walmart, CVS, making these huge plays for audience. But what does this actually mean for, your business if you're running a smaller practice or an agency? The source gives a great, really relatable example. Let's say you're a home health agency down in Georgia. Who do you target? Is it the adult children of seniors? Hospital discharge planners? Case managers? Or maybe affluent retirees looking for premium care? They're all different.
Totally different. And the key insight there is that each one of those paths demands a completely different strategy. You need different messaging, you'll use different platforms, Google ads versus Facebook outreach versus maybe direct mail or meeting with planners. Your pricing might be different, your referral sources are definitely different. So if you don't deliberately choose your audience, you just kind of blend into the background noise. You don't stand out.
And we see this working, right? Even locally. The source points out how smart clinics are really winning by, owning their specific audience. Like, think about pediatric therapy clinics just zeroing in on local mom groups online and offline, or those testosterone clinics focusing super tightly on fitness-conscious men over 30.
Or even, behavioral health coaches. Niching way down, like maybe specializing in burnout support just for nurses.
That laser focus.
Exactly. That's what drives success. It's that precision.
So you don't need a multi-billion-dollar M&A budget to do this. This source actually gives us 4 pretty clear, actionable steps, things that local clinics and agencies can actually implement to get that clarity.
Right. The first one is really about identifying your highest value audience. Now that could be highest margin, like the ones who pay the most or have the best reimbursement, or it could be your most responsive audience, the ones who are easiest to reach and convert. So are you aiming for physician referrals, or are you going after self-pay clients directly? Getting that initial clarity is step 1. It shapes everything else.
Okay, step 1. Know who brings the most value or is easiest to reach. Then step 2 is you have to really understand what that specific group actually cares about, really cares about. The source has some great examples here. Seniors, they often prioritize trust, safety, maybe familiarity, adult children worrying about their parents. They might want transparency, communication, availability above all else.
Yeah, peace of mind.
Right. And those fitness-minded men we mentioned, maybe they just want energy, quick results, performance. It's about digging into those core motivations.
And that leads directly into the third step. You build your content, your messaging, all your outreach around that specific persona. So this means things like, actually updating the language on your website, posting content on the right social platforms where they hang out, choosing your ad buys, your media buys, so they genuinely align with where your audience spends their time and attention. It's meeting them where they are.
Makes sense. And then the fourth step, and this one feels really crucial, protect your brand alignment, like at all costs. This means everything, from the way your receptionist answers the phone, to the visuals in your ad campaigns, even how you respond to Google reviews. It all has to reinforce the same image, the same promise to that specific audience.
Absolutely, because just one misstep, one piece that feels off or misaligned can break that trust you've worked so hard to build with that exact audience you defined.
This material really hammers home a point that feels almost like common sense, but maybe isn't practiced enough. When you try to market to everyone, you often end up really converting no one. That broad, generic targeting just leads to weak results.
Especially in healthcare, right, where trust is absolutely paramount. A message that feels off or generic, it's not just wasted ad spend, though it's definitely that too.
Oh yeah, thousands wasted easily.
But maybe more importantly, it means fewer people, fewer patients who actually need your help are finding you and connecting with you. And stepping back, looking at the bigger picture. When your agency, your clinic, really takes this audience strategy seriously, everything gets sharper. Your SEO keywords become more targeted. Your social media content resonates better. Your email campaigns are more effective. Even the patient experience itself can be tailored and improved. That's really what separates the brands that are growing, the ones people talk about, from the ones that just seem kind of invisible.
And here's a really interesting twist on competition that the source brings up. Your real competitor. It might not be the clinic across town that offers the exact same services. It could be, a new tech-enabled provider entering the market, or maybe one of those retail clinics popping up, or simply another practice that just has way better clarity on their target audience than you do.
That really raises an important question for you, the listener, doesn't it? Have you truly identified who you're competing against, not just on services, but on audience clarity? Who's doing a better job of connecting with the specific group you want to reach?
So today, we've really dug deep into why this audience strategy stuff is so foundational, why knowing who you serve is just paramount. From those huge strategic moves by Walmart and CVS right down to the focused success we see in local clinics nailing their niche, the message seems incredibly clear.
Yeah.
This precision targeting, it's not just a game for the giants. It's really the key for everyone, big or small, to actually stand out and, thrive.
Absolutely. I think the core takeaway here is that in today's market, which is just getting more and more crowded, being clear on your audience isn't just a marketing thing. It's actually about building a more coherent, a more effective, and fundamentally a more trustworthy operation from top to bottom.
So for you listening, maybe here's a final thought to sort of chew on after this deep dive. If you had to redefine your perfect, maybe your highest margin or most responsive audience right now, what's the single most immediate, most tangible change you'd make? To your outreach, your messaging, maybe even your website? What really stands out to you is that very first step.